I must admit, this live stream might go off the rails a bit because, as I tell you guys all the time, before I do these live streams, I get nervous as hell. I literally don't know what it is that I'm doing, but reacting off of training camp for the Vikings. Now, as far as news today, roster moves, before we get into training camp, roster moves, John Parker Romo, kicker for the Vikings, was waived today. I actually found out through the man himself, as I'm sure a lot of you have on Twitter. This man tweeted out, "Hey, I'm a free agent again." Posted a clip of him hitting a field goal. I forgot how far it was. And then a couple of hours later, the Vikings made it official on their socials. But so not only does that solidify what we already knew, I guess I'm just more so surprised that it happened this early, that Will Reichert is going to be your kicker for the Vikings in 2024. But I think there's more to it than, all right, Will Reichert's the guy. I think they made this cut to make way for the signing that they made today. Defensive back Bobby McCain, who, goodness, he's played for quite a few teams. This will be his fourth team. He has 9 years under his belt between the Miami Dolphins, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants, and now he's going to play for the Minnesota Vikings. He has some experience at corner, but the last at least 5 years he's played at safety. So I was thinking, oh, you're signing a safety. I don't really understand what's happening there unless you're going to, because we're deep as hell at safety. Are you kidding me? But does that mean you're going to take one of the safeties and have them fill in that corner? Cam Bynum comes to mind. Reportedly, Jay Ward played at some corner in today's first padded practice. But I mean, Stephon Gilmore, I feel like that's what you need to do, especially because we're talking about Mekhi Blackman. He's out for the year. And Shaq Griffin, has there been any sort of update on him? Maybe there has been, and I'm just an idiot, and it just went right over my head. But I haven't seen anything regarding his status. I mean, I guess no news is good news, because if it was something serious, we would have found out about it certainly by now. But if he's going to miss some time, you need a cornerback, and you need a cornerback bad. But those were the two moves made today. As far as training camp is concerned, man, okay. Wide receiver 3. I thought Brandon Powell had it in the bag. But based off of the last couple of practices, Jalen Nailor has been standing out, especially with J.J. McCarthy playing with the twos. And I think it was Darren Wolfson who said that he expects for Jordan Addison to be suspended for 3 games. You're going to need some sort of playmaker at the wide receiver position. The only thing with Jalen Nailor is staying healthy. That's it. We know he has talent. If he can stay healthy, then I would say right now, he certainly has the ability to make more wild plays than Brandon Powell. You've been hearing that for the last couple of practices from Jalen Nailor. So I'll take that. I just hope they make at least some other cornerback signing. Because Bobby McCain, I look at him as a safety, quite honestly. And as a safety, talking about McCain, last year with the Giants, 10 games played, 0 starts, 50% completion allowed, and that's in a part-time role. But, I mean, you go back with his time between the Commanders and the Dolphins, and he's given up, goodness, mid 60% completion rates last year or the year before last with the Commanders. His last year with the Commanders gave up nearly an 80% completion rate. So not great. But it seems like they're just going to try to do the best they can until some other signing is made. I would expect for a signing to be made. Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Jackson. I don't care. You need somebody. Or a Caleb Evans, maybe they'll believe in him to step up. I'm quite honestly over it. But Jalen Naylor, so far, you're wide receiver 3. And then we get to I was hoping to the quarterback. The quarterback position. I realized that I just look like a hater in hindsight when it comes to JJ McCarthy. Because, and I owe SK an apology, Sean Kenner. I was on his show last Thursday night, and he talked about, and this was Thursday, and this was after the rounds made it where he made a 40-yard pass to Jordan Addison. I don't remember if it was for a touchdown or not, but I know it was a big play, JJ McCarthy. That was that day, that night on SK's show. He introduced us and just said, hey, I think we have a quarterback competition. And I quickly interrupted him and said, no, we don't. Like, what are we doing here? I'm a hater, officially. Whether it's, all right, he's a second-round pick. Oh, and the whole JJ McCarthy mafia, what I was doing in real time, saying, hey, man, y'all got to just chill out, slow down. You're doing a little bit too much. JJ McCarthy is a walking, living example of a Disney movie where the impossible for everybody else is possible for this guy. Whether it's after the national championship game, he was all right, but nothing spectacular. Probably a second-round pick, or best case, he's a second-round pick. Probably should go back to school. No, he's a first-round pick. All right, man, just what are y'all doing here? Oh, he should be in the top 10. Oh, maybe he'll go to the New England Patriots. We got to jump up and get JJ McCarthy before they get him. What are we doing? Oh, he was the 10th pick in the draft. And then it came to the point where I said, all right, okay. Everybody that the JJ McCarthy stands, you got it. But now with football, with the Vikings, 2025, that's when we're going to see him. I don't expect to see him at all because Sam Darnold, he's never had a supporting cast like this. He's going to ball out. Everything's going to be great. And McCarthy's going to be your QB3. And goodness gracious. First off, let's start with that. The QB3. Not only is he not the QB3 right now, he's the QB2. Ahead of Nick Mullins. Playing with the twos. And also, the last couple of practices since that Thursday, that one play to Jordan Addison where everybody was shaking their asses, he's been balling. It was Saturday's practice, the red zone drills where he threw 4 touchdown passes. I mean, one of them in the back corner, left side of the end zone. Do we have a quarterback competition? It seems that way. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold reportedly has been struggling. He's been turning the ball over. That's the main thing offensively. One of the main things offensively that this team needs to work on going from 23 to 24. Take care of the football. He's been struggling, Sam Darnold, at doing just that, throwing multiple interceptions. And according to from what I saw from Judd Zulgad, I want to say on Saturday, struggling with interceptions, particularly on the intermediate routes, over the middle, the second level plays, through another interception today. So on one hand, you have JJ McCarthy, who's just tearing it up. Sam Darnold, where it's like, oh, turning the ball over like you have your whole career. He's continuing to do that. I realize I'm a hater. JJ McCarthy, like I'm done. Like I've tried to keep it on the conservative side. Hey, let's just wait. It's going to take a while. I'm willing to backtrack to say, forget the whole 2025. especially if Sam Darnold plays like he has his entire career, which is what he's doing right now in training camp, turning the ball over. I think JJ McCarthy, he at some point plays in 2024. Now, if he ends up starting the year, that I would just fall onto the floor. But at this point, anything's possible. Anything is possible with this guy, and I am tired. I'm just tired of just this whole of battling the JJ McCarthy stands and what I would consider unrealistic expectations. Well, turns out they're right. I'm tired. It reminds me of, man, growing up in the Baptist black church, this one woman, this lady usher, talked to her every Sunday. And man, you could hear it in her voice. She just sounded exhausted, tired. Whatever struggle she was going through, she was in it all the time. I'm that tired. How you doing, sister? Oh, I'm just taking it one day at a time, baby. Doing the best I can, honey. That's where I'm at with JJ McCarthy. All right, some of your comments. Joyful Noise says you aren't a hater, just the Vikings fan. Yeah, that's fair. I just didn't see this happening. I thought this would be a crock pot, slow approach, QB3, but he's already the QB2. That's amazing. Intrepid, McCarthy has looked just as good as Darnold all camp, playing with the twos against the ones. He's outperforming Darnold, I would say. Relatively speaking, Darnold's playing with the ones, McCarthy with the twos, but I would say he's outperforming Sam Darnold, while Darnold is with the ones against the twos and the ones stacked against JJ and still even. I think if once we start to see McCarthy get consistent reps with the ones, whenever that is, maybe that's going to be in training camp. Once we see that, and if he continues his roller coaster ride, not even just peaking nonstop, then it's like, all right, man, we need to we need to have a conversation here. Maybe Sam Darnold isn't that guy. I'm ready to put a parlay in for the Vikings season, and Sam Darnold was one of them where I'm like, hey, 3,500 yards, 30 TDs, 10 picks, boom, put it in the bank. But now I don't even know if he makes it throughout the whole year. I don't. That's crazy. Offensive line, it's like I said last week, it looks like it's Dalton Risner versus Ed Ingram at right guard. Risner is working with the twos at right guard. Blake Brandel seems to have left guard just in the bag. So it seems that Ed Ingram is the one that needs to look over his shoulder. So I guess from one of the beat writers, I can't remember exactly who, but saw it on Twitter that rookie Dallas Turner, today's practice, got stonewalled a bit against left tackle Christian Darrisaw. Well, it's only going to make him better, right? I mean, you're talking about a rookie edge rusher versus one of the best left tackles in the game. He'll be fine. But that's what we've got going on right now. Jalen Naylor, prime candidate for wide receiver 3. It seems like it's now his job to lose. Cornerback, you got to do something, anything. Bobby McCain as a defensive back, I mean, maybe you can move him in at corner a couple of times, but signing Bobby McCain to then say, all right, we're going to have Jay Ward or maybe Cam Bynum play at corner. It's just, I don't know, just Stephon Gilmore, man. Go ahead and sign him. I don't think that's too much to ask. Bad jokes, Brian. Ingram underachieving, you don't say. Interior offensive line, I mean, it's full of question marks. Blake Brandel at left guard. Last year, goodness. Look up the these stats real quick. Last year, he filled in for a bit, but didn't really knock your socks off. Played in 163 snaps, 2 penalties, 1 sack allowed. Not great. So they're trusting him. That's a question mark. How is he going to be as a full-time starter? Garrett Bradbury, there's no question mark about it. This guy he's not a good starting center in this league. He's just not. And I think I saw something where he reportedly put on 5 to 8 pounds this offseason, which that's fine, but he just doesn't have the strength you need to anchor the inside of the offensive line. So Blake Brandle's a question mark. Garrett Bradbury is not, but it's bad. And then if Reisner plays at right guard, I mean, he's better at pass protection. Run blocking is not great. You need to improve on that heavily this year compared to what we saw in 23 with Alexander Madison as RB1. But can Ed Ingram step up? That's the question. Multiple question marks. Intrepid, I'm a JJ stan and not a big fan of Darnold, so I've been predicting JJ. You've been one of the JJ stans. It's funny, the skit I did Friday originally was supposed to be just a spin on the JJ McCarthy psychopaths. But in hindsight, that was before Friday's practice where he went off and threw 4 touchdowns in the red zone drill. Now I have to look at it as, okay, it's not a JJ McCarthy stand video. It's a Vikings fan police video where people like myself that's had the old man attitude, get off my lawn with JJ McCarthy, we all look like jackasses. He says, but I'm trying to stay objective with my observations. Go nuts now. The Pandora's box is open. Don't have a measured approach. You guys have been winning. You've been right this whole time. Man. Track Pat says JJ seems to have a great work ethic. Heard he already looks like he's improved a ton since OTAs. Yeah, I saw something where he was asking Brian Flores questions as far as different looks defensively that he should look out for. Where do you think I should improve? He's soaking up knowledge like he's a sponge every which way that he can go. I think that's fantastic. Tyson Turner, do you think Aaron Jones can stay healthy this year? Well, with our interior offensive line, I'm not sure. Let me see. I know he had some issues last year with staying healthy. Let me do a year-by-year approach to see, okay, when's the last time he's at least played 14 games? Oh, the year before last. Okay. 2022, he played in all 17 games. The year before that, 15, 14, 16. His first 2 years, he had either he wasn't starting right away or had some sort of injuries. 12 games each, 12 starts total between those first 2 years. But after that, goodness, 16, 14, 15, 17 starts. Last year, he caught the injury bug. 11 games, 11 starts. So perhaps last year was just an anomaly and that he'll get back to being healthy, albeit he'll be 30 years old in 2024 for the season. So age isn't really kind to him. But, I mean, with our interior offensive line, so many question marks there, who knows? Which is why Ty Chandler is also going to be important. Cam Akers, I mean, I still don't understand what happened there. They signed him and just nothing happened pending the physical. And now he's with, goodness, I forgot what team he's with now. It doesn't matter. He's not on the Vikings. But, I mean, you look at the running back room. Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, he's the RB2. Kane and Nwangwu, not really expecting anything from him as a running back. Myles Gaskin is going to be your pass catcher. goodness, you need a move there too, or somebody to step up. You're gonna have to rely on, I guess, Kane and Nwangwu. But Aaron Jones, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Tyrone Lee. Who should the Vikings sign next free agency? Well, my number one name was Kenny Clark, but they already signed him to an extension early on. They should have tampered with his ass, just like the Falcons did with Kirk Cousins. Hey, bro, you want to sign with us next year? When you play us in Minneapolis, we got a nice hotel for you. Let's see now. That was my number one name. He's obviously gone. So let's see what the other big names are going to be. And the Vikings, they're in a good spot. I mean, last I checked, they've got about $54 million in cap available next year. That includes the extensions of Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw. The Kirk Cousins dead cap hit is gone. Marcus Davenport dead cap hit is gone. I would like defensive tackle. You have to address that, whether it's in the draft or in free agency or even both. You got to do something. Let's see. Excuse me. So Kenny Clark is gone. Your next big name at that. Oh, Harrison Phillips is going to be a free agent, but is he really going to be worth signing, re-signing next year? I'm not sure. Probably not. Oh, man. Your next biggest name is Cam Hayward from Pittsburgh, but he seems like he's super loyal to the Steelers organization. Plus, he's 36 years old. So that's probably not going to work out. Whew. After that, Malik Collins from San Francisco, BJ Hill from Cincy, and that's just D tackle. I don't really see anybody else. No other big names. Kenny Clark was really the marquee free agent, I think, overall, but especially that position, interior defensive line. Oh, God, you're going to have to draft somebody. Hey, I'll tell you what. Last college football season, because we knew Kirk Cousins' time was likely up, I was paying attention heavy to quarterbacks, all of them, which everybody does. That's the sexy position to look at. This college football season, D tackle, interior defensive line. This free agency list at D tackle is not great. Oh my gosh. Okay. So moving on from there, you need, well, let's see what centers are available. I don't see any. Creed Humphrey. Hey, bro. Tamper with his ass right now. Creed Humphrey at center. Come on down. What do they offer you in Kansas City? Man, add another 10% on top of that. We'll take care of you. Kansas City, they're not going to let him go. But if there's a chance, oh, snap. Oh, gosh. I was really hoping there was a name there, D tackle, but there's not. T-Fall saying just draft a center. You got to draft a D tackle for sure, because there's nothing in free agency there, unless there's something at the bottom of the list that just went completely over my head. But hey, they're in a good spot because the Vikings, they got their first round pick, and then after that, it's a dark hole of nothing, emptiness. But you can trade down in the first round, acquire more picks. Maybe you can get a center and a D tackle. But D tackle, you got to get that. I saw some stupid rumors we might trade for Jair Alexander. Yeah, I doubt that. And I don't want him on this team. He's a pompous ass. Ugh, That would just be so gross. Bad jokes, Brian. Let's tamper away. Hell yeah, bro. Creed Humphrey, come on down. Did the whole Creed band content for Kirk Cousins because he likes Creed. Evidently, we need to do the Creed music content for Creed Humphrey. Damn it. There's no way he's going to actually become available. Especially, they let Tyreek Hill go because they're paying Patrick Mahomes, but they understand he needs an offensive line. They have no receivers outside of Rashee Rice, but he's an idiot doing stupid stuff off the field. They're not going to let him go. But Tampa, go get him, Quasi. Woo! Tyrone trade for Patrick Surtain? Probably not. It's too expensive, man. First off, well, let's see his current contract right now. His current contract. Oh, he's on his rookie contract. He's got his 5th-year option next year, which is going to get picked up. But he's going to be an immediate, you have to pay this guy. And after paying Jefferson and Darisaw, this isn't like the NBA. This is a hard cap league. NBA, you can go over the cap limit. There's the luxury tax and whatever. You don't have that here. He's probably, not even probably, he's going to demand a big payday. And sure, he'll play this year, no problem. But going into the 5th-year option, these players, I mean, you saw it with T. Higgins, all these players, you go into your 5th-year option, they want to hold out and not deserve this and that. And quite honestly, it's nice. The player himself, that would be great. But it's not just the player and the talent that you're going to get from that player on the field. It's financially, what are going to be the ramifications? You're going to have $54 million in cap next year, but man, I don't see it. And plus, Sean Payton, he's not going to work with the Vikings. He's not. I know he's not the GM, but still. We intentionally tried to make it look like we were moving up in the draft. Like, shut up. He looks like one of those characters from the Grinch movie with Jim Carrey. Yeah, I'm Sean Payton. I'm a jackass. All right, I'm done. No, I don't think we're going to get Patrick Surtain at all. It'd be nice, but I just don't see how that's going to work. This is a great question. Hey, hold up. D-Vibes88, great question. Do you think the NFL Sunday Ticket lawsuit will affect the Vikings? I don't think it will affect the Vikings. I think it will be good for fans across the league, not just with the Vikings, all 32 teams, if this gets upheld. Because the NFL, they're going to fight every loss in the courts no matter what. But all I want as a fan is just a single team package for Sunday Ticket. I am an out-of-market Vikings fan. All I do is watch the Vikings. I don't need access to the other 31 teams in the league. I just don't. And that's what the lawsuit, I guess, is going after the NFL for. Why don't you do that? Why are you making it to where fans have to spend this incredible amount of money each year? By the way, the cost goes up each year. But TBD. Randy says, Surtain will break the bank. Don't go down that road again. Trenches must be addressed. Yeah. I'm with you, Randy. You got to figure out what to do with the interior defensive line. Edge rusher, you're straight right there. but you've got nothing. You've got no beef up front. And that's where the biggest problem lies. It doesn't matter what studs you have at corner. If you can't get to the quarterback, 1 Mississippi, 2, 3 Mississippi, anything less than that, I mean, these corners, they're just running around for no reason, no matter how great they are. There's nothing in free agency next year. D tackle, anyway. That's crazy. Should have tampered with Kenny Clark, man. Sorry. Creed Humphrey. Somebody. You got the money to make some sort of splash next year. Who is that going to be? We'll see. Tyson. It sucks because I'm from Oregon and I have to watch Red Zone 80% of the time, and the Red Zone never shows the Vikings. Yeah, it's a nasty game the NFL's playing. But you know what? The thing is, companies will only bow down when the consumers push back, and not just with words or virtue signaling, but actually with their money. The only way the NFL would even consider a single team package for Sunday Ticket is if we collectively as the fans said, you know what? We're boycotting Sunday Ticket. And the problem is we're never going to do it. We as fans, myself included, we talk all this smack saying, oh, the NFL, they're so unfair and how can they do this? And no matter all the rules that's catering to the quarterback ever since Tom Brady tore his ACL, what was that, 2007, first game of the season, and Matt Castle started the rest of the year, and they changed the rules to where, man, you could as a defender give a high five to the quarterback. You made a good play. Oh, roughing the passer and all this stuff. We complain about all this stuff, but guess what? We keep watching. We keep watching. And I'm going to keep watching. And you're going to keep watching. All of us are. I guess the only way we can win is if the courts just uphold the rulings. Say, stop being ridiculous. You make $1 gazillion a year. You need more? I don't know. Michael Bryant, I have a hot, potentially stupid take, depending on what you think. If the Vikings are, say, 5-2, 6-11, I would inquire with the Giants to acquire Dexter Lawrence. By the way, enjoy the content, Randy. I appreciate that. Mike. I don't see that happening. The Giants, they just paid him too, by the way. He's one of the cornerstones of that franchise. They're not going to let him go. It'd be nice. I'd make the phone call. Probably get hung up on. Like, hello? Hey, what's up? It's Quasi. Hey, what's the deal with Dexter Lawrence? Click. That's probably what's going to happen. But make the call. Do a couple more. Bad jokes, Brian. Why don't we start a negative review bomb view for TikTok and lead the charge to negative review all their services until they respond and do something? What, the NFL? Hey, and by the way, going back to Tyson Turner, you say you're from Oregon, you can't watch the Vikings, you only coverage you get is maybe 20% of the time on Red Zone. We live stream every game. Well, not the game itself. The NFL won't allow me to do that. But live reaction and commentary for every Vikings game. So you don't have to sit in the dark, Tyson. I got you. And as Bad Jokes Brian points out, Tyson, there are ways. Yes, there are. I can't reveal those different platforms to find other methods to watch the games. But If someone else wants to help him out, go ahead. We'll do a couple more. I mean, I guess the main thing that I've learned so far in training camp is that I've just been a hater of JJ McCarthy. Everything that the approach that I've had, hey, let's be conservative here. Everybody's excited for this guy. We need to chill out a little bit. I've been wrong every step of the way. The crazy JJ stance have been right. And the fact that we actually do have a borderline quarterback competition. No longer is it, hey, 2025, we'll see what he's about. I think we will see him in 2024 at some point. Ethan Moon, love the content, Randy. Appreciate you, Ethan, with the super chat. Yeah. So if Sam Darnold continues to throw picks and turn the football over, and JJ McCarthy continues to light it up, I tell you what, man, if McCarthy ends up starting like week 1, he opens the year as the Vikings QB1, that would be it for me. Like, all right, not only was I wrong, but I was so wrong. So I want to give a couple of updates regarding the channel before we log off of here. Last year, I think I became more structured. This season is going to be even more structured than last year. Live streams every game for the Vikings. That's going to continue. I've got a video editor, Zach, who's going to give the channel professional shorts. I'm joining or collabing with 2 other Vikings content creators for a joint group podcast. More details on that a little bit later, but that's going to be starting soon. Skits. A couple of you guys have been asking about skits. I'm going to be more committed to that because the thing is, I can't say that, hey, every single week a skit is going to happen because it has to make sense. I don't want to do it just to do it. I don't know how Tom Grossi does it. I really don't understand how he has that mind to be able, not just every week, but multiple times per week. He does the funny vids. I'm like, hey, good for you, bro. But yeah, we got the group podcast we're going to be doing. Got a video editor for that, which is actually, ironically, he's here. Bad Jokes Brian. Skits, talked about that. Got a sponsorship that I'm excited for. That, goodness, that starts the end of this week, so beginning of August. And lastly, there's a new piece of content that I'm adding to this channel. It's still very much Minnesota related, sports related, all those things. But it's something that I just went, oh, God, that's it. That's the thing. And I just got to get the logistics together before I reveal exactly what it is. But I'm so excited for it. The bottom line is there's so much happening with this channel. This season is going to be it's going to be great. I think so. Any other thoughts? Dominique Pepper says, will you have Sean Mannion on the podcast? That dude, he probably hates me. No doubt. And I don't blame him. That dude. I'm not going to do that. Like DM him and be like, hey, Sean, just want to talk some Vikings with you. Do you have the time? He'll tell me to go bleep myself. And I wouldn't blame him. But that's going to be it. Vikings training camp. JJ McCarthy is the second coming of Jesus. He's here. Make a move at corner. Right guard, we'll see what happens. Wide receiver 3, Jalen Naylor. Will Reichert is the kicker. We out here, man. Appreciate you guys joining the live stream. We'll see you next time.